Now, the national credit regulator has warned banks not to pursue bad business practices. The banking ombudsman recently received several complaints from customers whose bank accounts have been tampered with. Some banks have come under fire for misappropriating customers' entire salaries, in some instances to pay debts owed to them.
Verbruikers nie eers kos op hulle tafel het nie, dat hulle 'n man se salaris kan vat en doeteenvoudig dan dit wat die kliënt vir die bank skuld te delg. En dan sit daai man sonder 'n sent. En ek hoor duidelik wat Clive sê, die probleem is net, Vrydag weet ek van 'n spesifieke persoon, dit was 'n dame wat getroud was, sy's geskei op die oomblik, hulle het skuld aangegaan, haar man het nie werk nie en die bank het doeteenvoudig gegaan en haar volle salaris geneem. Nou vreek, dit skreeu ten hemele.
It's not in line with the NCA, it's not in line with general collecting principles per se. However, it has been brought to their attention. They have agreed to stop that practice. They have also agreed to refund the people whose entire salaries they have taken.
The Ombudsman has recommended that the banks refund the amounts they deducted and limit themselves to deducting a reasonable amount.
I met with Absa Bank, and they've admitted doing this. We've agreed that they will stop doing it. We've agreed that they will refund the money to those customers from whom they've taken it. And thirdly, we've agreed that they will, in future, deduct smaller or nominal amounts only. But there's certain requirements for common law set-off. And I'm not convinced that the banks are entitled to apply common law set-off as they claim.
The banks are acting in terms of what is called a right of set-off as per the common law. When the National Credit Act was introduced, it changed the common law in terms of particular areas. For instance, the National Credit Act prohibits a right of set-off to be created in a contract. The National Credit Act also requires that certain notices must be given to a credit consumer before a credit agreement can be enforced. The National Credit Act also created the right of debt counselling for consumers. So, in any case, a credit provider must follow these procedures that is defined in the National Credit Act before they can apply set-off, even in terms of the common law.
Bombshell announcement this afternoon. 3 of South Africa's big banks have been implicated in collusion by the Competition Commission in currency trades involving the rand. Absa, Standard Bank and Investec have been named in a statement released by the Commission earlier.
The Absa-linked banks include Absa Bank Limited and 2 arms of Barclays. The Competition Commission says that it's referred the collusion case to a tribunal for prosecution.
The Commission says it has been investigating a case of price fixing in trades involving the rand since April 2015. It says it found that the banks had a general agreement to collude on prices for bids, offers and bid-offer spreads when it came to the dollar-rand exchange. The Competition Commission alleges that traders of the affected banks primarily used trading platforms such as the Reuters currency rating platform to carry out their collusive activities. The Commission is seeking an order from the tribunal declaring that the respondents have contravened the Competition Act. It further wants an order declaring some banks liable for the payment of an administrative penalty equal to 10% of their annual turnover. However, Absa is excluded from the banks that could be liable for the penalty, leaving Standard Bank and Investec as local banks named. Diabosito, SABC.
Wide spread and kind of detailed plan to manipulate currency that occurred through trading platforms such as Bloomberg. So traders would get together, and if you want to buy a lot of currency, you would then get other traders to manipulate the price by distorting the supply and demand, so that if you are buying, you make it cheaper, and if you are selling, you make it more expensive. So we have found this conspiracy and have decided that we have enough evidence to prosecute it, and we would expect that the banks now should be able to answer.
So there you go, hearing got the Competition Commission's Tembi Nkosi Bonakele explaining to us about the Forex collusion saga between Investec, Absa and Standard Bank. But let's get a little bit more about this and to explain what this means, the implications are for trade buying Forex and especially imports and exports. I'm joined in studio by economist Tanti Pai. So when we're talking about the manipulation of the currency, what exactly does it mean?
So the central bank is a key authority here, and it will give licenses, trading licenses or dealing licenses to different organizations or banks, and they are the only ones who are allowed to actually trade currencies between themselves.